Hello everyone, this is Fikra Özcan. Today I'll be explaining our new expansion plan and at the same time by giving the example of Google Fiber and how they became a successful competitor in this industry and our expansion plan against Google Fi. So today, first I'll be explaining our summary, then we'll give a quick review of industry, and after that I'm planning to explain more about Google Fiber and their business model, and lastly I'll be explaining how should we as a Verizon compete against Google Fiber. So currently we as a fiber optic network serves the largest number of house subscribers, approximately 80 million users in the United States. Our service ranges from 15 to 300 megabits per second, and we are currently covering 70% of US. And the current industry is has their own demands. So the cable, as we have a cable company, we need to invest millions of dollars of infrastructure in order to provide better coverage. And network speed, such as like one gigabyte network speed. Because of that, many cities were not economically feasible to deploy fiber network because of higher infrastructure cost. And moreover, it is really tough to get necessary permission from local governments, such as environmental permissions. In California, it is really tough to get these necessary permissions from local governments. So we are seeing a huge demand from local governments to provide better network access to the not covered or low speed internet access areas, and especially in the rural areas with less populated areas. They are not able to get enough. They are not able to get like 1 gigabyte internet access or not access to. So because of these issues, and at the same time, there's another aspect of the industry is the tech startups. So as we have seen in the current business in the environment, the tech startup environment needs better Wi-Fi, wireless coverage and speed for their developers. So as we are seeing, there's an opportunity to invest, and there's a company that already invested in those area of opportunity. Google Fiber. So Google Fi Google Fiber, or either Google Fi, is a mobile virtual network carrier that provides voice calling, SMS, and mobile broadband services. It is working with like many of the smartphones, including iPhone and Android-based smartphones. And as an MVNO, Google Fi uses cellular network from partnering companies such as T-Mobile, Sprint, and US Cellular. And Google Fi is streamlined billing, so it means that the service price is $70 per month, and it is not changing based on the usage of internet. It is fixed, and for the bundled television it is $120. And how does Google Fi work? It is really interesting. Google, as a cable company, we need to invest like a huge infrastructure. We need to invest like millions of dollars to build the infrastructure, but they don't own their own network hardware. So they do not invest on network infrastructure as well. They are just leasing time and data from other partnered companies, as I mentioned before. We mentioned before US Cellular, Sprint, and AT&T, T-Mobile, and user network. So let me give an example. If you're in an area that which has been covered by all three partnered companies, Google Fi allow your mobile to pick the best speed provider. So it checks all three cable providers, network providers, and then picks the strongest one. And and at the same time, the other part of it, since these three partner companies are pretty huge coverage area, so this coverage area is what Google Fi is covered as well. And how it is profitable, so they're like Google is willing to accept lower operating margins and either profits, because their long-term mission is really correlated with web usage. So that's why they want their users to get a better internet speed and web usage, and that web usage and web coverage returns Google as a ad revenue. So that's the first profit that they get from this business. And since it's a low implementation and maintenance cost, it's the off-the-shelf technology, it allows them to store and store them and let users to pick whatever let users something whenever they need. And since they have tons of agreements with the local governments, before they investing they are making like agreements with their local governments. If they face with an issue, or if they face with any infrastructural or bureaucratic issue, they are able to talk with the governments immediately to solve the problem. So which made them a profitable business at the moment. Our new Verizon Wireless plan has three different options, three different steps. So first, we need to identify these rural areas with less populated and with less internet access and higher startup environment. And for these areas, we need to get an agreement with the local governments in order to get state incentives for wireless coverage, such as like the tax incentives or infrastructure incentives, anything that might reduce our infrastructure cost. And then once we have these agreements and infrastructure, we need to partner with streaming services such as Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, Freebie, anything, or Amazon Prime, to provide the streaming services with next to our wireless network access service as well. And while we were able to provide a streaming service, then we need to provide storing services for the users as well. And once we have those both two, the final issue is going to be like the subscription model. So since Google able to provide unlimited subscription for $70 per month, we can provide an additional model for users who wants to pay $7 per month for unlimited version, but they need to sign a contract for a minimum of 1 year. So then we were able to see these customers and the return of profit as well. Thank you for listening. By the way, the competitor analyzer, this is how I located the Google Fi. They are way more affordable and able to provide the rural coverage, since we are way more expensive and able to provide the urban coverage mostly. So we are trying to change the opportunities between the affordable and urban coverage, these areas that you see. So that's why our business model really targets that area. Thank you for listening. Please let me know if you have any questions.